how to plan and create your dream life when you're starting from scratch, building your exciting new chapter. Hi, I'm Ashav. I'm a single mom, I'm self-employed, and I'm someone who knows firsthand how overwhelming life can get when you're juggling work, parenting, and everything else life throws at you. Most goal-setting advice out there, it's either written by men with invisible labor of their spouse to support their systems, or young single women who don't yet have to balance kids, home, and health. As a 38-year-old single mom who's rebuilding her new chapter after divorce, I need a complete different strategy, a life goal planning system that doesn't just focus on work or fitness, but takes into account the bigger picture, family, self-care, household, and long-term dreams. If you've ever felt like traditional goal-setting advice just doesn't fit your life, or if you're in the process of reinventing yourself after pivoting, this video is for you. It's not enough to just set the goals because there are no actions to propel you towards these goals. How are you gonna get rich? How are you gonna make $10,000 a month? How are you gonna get your relationship that you're seeking? How you're gonna get your fit body? You need to come up with a strategy and some tactics to get you there. In this video, I'll guide you through the first half of a two-part process that I do myself to set meaningful goals and create a life you truly love. I'll do all the steps live with you so that not only you get the idea, but also have a concrete example of how to do it yourself. So feel free to grab a notebook and do this with me as I explain. First, we'll focus on reflecting on the year that ended, what worked, what didn't, what we already achieved, and what lessons we can carry forward. In the second part, we'll dive deep and create categorized task lists in all areas of our lives and be as detailed as we can, covering key areas like personal growth, career, finances, and even those little things that bring joy to our everyday life. Then we look at the result with a wider lens and extract the big picture goals in the four main areas of our lives. Then in the next video, we'll take it a step further by breaking those goals into manageable quarterly, monthly, and weekly plans so that we can stay on track without feeling overwhelmed. By the end of this series, you'll have a complete roadmap to make the new year your most intentional and fulfilling year yet. So let's get started. How do you create your dream life? It's not enough to just set the goals and hope for the best. It's about making sure that you are creating a roadmap for yourself to be able to progress in a way that leads you from where you are in your point A and get to point B at the end of the week, point C in the end of the month, point D in the end of the quarter, and from A to Z when the year ends, and then obviously more and more years to come, progressing to your dream life. This can be super overwhelming, and in order to get there, I created this plan that really helps me to do the yearly planning in a way that lowers my anxiety, because I get overwhelmed super easily and I get stuck and I get all worried about, am I on the right way to where I'm going, and do I actually have to be somewhere else doing something else instead of what I'm doing right now? It also creeps into my thoughts when I do stuff that are not work related, and I get some guilt from, am I okay just resting right now? Or if I need a day to kind of wind down, if I'm not feeling great, if I need a day off, or if my daughter is sick and I'm stuck the whole week not being able to progress that much. How can I stay in touch with my feelings of accomplishment and lower my anxiety and overwhelm during these harder times? And make sure that when I am spending time, I spend it in a way that is focusing my energy and my time on the more important things instead of doing just busy work and then not getting anywhere. It is the beginning of the year, we're in January, and it's a great month to do all this thinking, all this planning, making sure that we're on the right track to a great year with great goals achieved. And this is how I do it. And I wanted to share my strategy with you guys. So let's go. So what I start with is reevaluating of the last year. And for me, 2024 has been a really intense year, I'm sure for everyone. And what I suggest is start with a blank page and write down all of your goals that you achieved on the year that ended. So this might be something that you can just look back on the goals that you listed the year before and see which one you achieved and which one you haven't already. But if you haven't been doing that before, you can still sit down and think about you from a year ago and you of the present and what kind of big things you achieved. And I'm not talking about little things, I'm talking about the bigger picture achievements. Always think about these 4 categories. 1 is your work, 2 is your love and relationships, 3 is play and everything that you do for pure joy, and 4th is your health. So in each one of these categories, just list the 1 or 2 achievements that you made the year that ended. It can be more in one area of your life and less the other, because this is how we usually have years that we're more focused on our health and years that are more focused on our relationship and so on. So for me, the way that it looks like, I started with writing down my 2024 goals that I achieved. I finalized my divorce. I moved to be closer to my family. I found an apartment and settled in. I got into a routine for myself and for my daughter. I put a big effort on socializing and creating a new social circles and friends, old friends and new friends. And then I also got back to dancing, and I upgraded my workout routine so that I get back in shape slowly. And I adopted 2 cats. So all this was like moving and settling in, a big goal that I achieved. And then the second thing is my business goals. So I managed to open a formal business here. I tidied up my financials and I rebranded my new project, and I started into the routine of filming content in a consistent basis for this new project. And so that was the business goals that I achieved. And then my health goals that I achieved, I managed to go through a double mastectomy surgery that is preventative because I'm a high risk for breast cancer as a BRCA1 positive carrier. And I managed to find the surgeons and go through this whole process successfully and kind of start on the rehabilitation of that. So this is a huge win and achievement for me, because I've been planning to do that for the last 4 years now, and I can finally say that I'm done. So these are my goals that I achieved. And also I have goals that I haven't achieved. So I wrote these down as well. And these goals for me were not a big one, not anything big, but it was just a few things off my new project that I thought I'm going to be more advanced in. I thought I'm going to have a whole new landing page, a resources page, and a weekly newsletter set up. So I didn't do all that. And I also had a legacy project that I really wanted to record a video food tour for, and I haven't gotten to doing that as well. So I wrote down my leftover goals as well. And my 2024 goals that I achieved, even though it looks like a big list of 13 achievements, I can kind of batch it up to 4 big goals that I achieved. 1 is my health, 2nd is my divorce, 3rd is moving and settling into a new country, and then the 4th is progressing with my business. So this is the first step. And then the next step that I did towards getting to my 2025 goals is, since it's kind of hard to just open a blank page and write down your new year goals, and some people might be able to just open a page and write the big picture goals just instantly. And for me, that's a really tough task to do on the top of your mind, taking into account that you want to write down only 4 to 6 big goals for that year. I go through this process to understand what are these tasks for me that are most important to me, and there are the big goals for the year. And the way that I go about it is that I create lists for all of my projects. If you have kids like me, and I'm a single parent as well, there are a lot of tasks that are not business related, but they are household related, personal, kid stuff, weekend, blah, blah, blah. So this actually makes it even more important to kind of take a big picture whole on the whole like life project. So I broke it down to different categories. I'm gonna go over all of these with you. And I have different colors for each of my lists, and I have a whole page for each one of these to-do lists. So the first one is my household tasks, and household tasks, it can be small or big or kind of in between tasks. For me, I just put down everything that I want to get down at some point right now on the top of my head. So it can be small things like something that needs to be fixed and it's kind of annoying, like I have a drawer that's stuck and I want to fix that one, or I want to get more plants, I want to put on curtains. So just the house and things task that I want to make my house in good maintenance and in a good appearance and a place, make sure that I have a place that's fun and comfortable and calm for me to relax and work at, because I work from home, so it's super important as well. But also, if we don't get around to doing these annoying tasks, slowly we get a more and more run down environment, and definitely it gets to your mind and feeling more and more uncomfortable using the space that you're in most of your day. And then I started a new list, and the new list is medical tasks, and here I put everything that I need to get done, or for myself and my daughter, and things that I want to also be able to get to, like if you have specialized doctors that you want to see, like if you wanted to get your vision checked or your dentist. So for me, this is start a new treatment that I'm trying for my acne, so I write down all of that. You can be more detailed or more general as you need for this part. And then my next list is all about financials. So I put taxes and financials at the same list, but you can split it. I'm thinking because it came out to be the longest list for me, maybe next time I'll split it into taxes and financials and separately. Depend if you are self-employed, if you have a business, you might need more than one list for that. But here I put everything that I have that has to do with taxes that I have to get ready, my expenses, my income reports. I have to take care of my 401k and everything that has to do with that. I want to get an accountant consult. I want to collect documents. So all these things I have to do, I put here everything that has to do with financials and taxes. And then the next list that I have, it's a fun one. It's my weekend project, and this is like my play and fun. And for me, if I'm not gonna write it down on a list, there is a chance that I get to the weekend and I can't remember anything that I wanted to do, and then weeks and weeks go by and I feel like it's a shame that I didn't get to any of the fun stuff that I was planning. I do this list together with my daughter, some of it, and make sure that I have here some things that we wanted to do together over the weekend. So part of that would be like hang her artwork on her wall, get to the bigger puzzles that we want to do. We want to learn magic tricks together because she really likes that, and some things are more personal to me. I want to get to starting my new kombucha SCOBY and start doing that again after I kind of abandoned that for a while. And we also wanted to do some watercoloring together. I wanted to get into a karaoke night every month. And a super important thing for me here was being able to start hosting dinner parties on a monthly basis. So I put that here as well. And then my next list is my travel and personal tasks. And I put here everything that's like more personal for me here. So it's gonna be therapy, and I wanna get my laptop organized, my files there. I wanna change my address in all the services. I want to buy a printer. And also I wanna plan my travels for the summer and everything that has to do with that. So I put this all here. And then my next few lists, my next 4 lists are my work lists. And you might just have one list, but I have a lot of projects that are going on at the same time. So I wanted to split it into these categories. I have my main gig here, my Amazon stuff that is like my day job. So I have this list. And then I have my new project that I'm starting. And this would be the bulk of my work these days because I'm starting something new and it needs most of my focus. And then the 2 other lists are, one of them is my legacy legacy projects and things that I'm no longer taking regular time to maintaining, but I do want to get to doing a couple of things that would keep it alive. And then the last one is my testing project, which is a project that I'm doing a pilot on and want to see if it's going to be worth putting any effort in or not. So I am investing a little bit in that as well. So each one of these projects, I list all of my tasks that I know right now of. And obviously my pilot, for example, I only have really small list, but it's going to get bigger and things are going to change. And very important to remember that these lists are what I call alive. They're not rigid and they're going to change, and you're going to add, you're going to subtract. These are lists that are in progress the whole year. I just really like having it like. So going back to the list, my last list here is my other/future tasks, and here I list everything that has to do with none of the other lists, and also things that I kind of want to get into and I don't know if I'm gonna have time. It's not a high priority, but also sometimes we kind of have a mood for something different and a random kind of small project, and that's when I can open this list and spend a day doing a deep dive on research on something or writing a blog post about something, some journey that I went through in my life. And some days I do that, and I love having that option to kind of spend a day a month doing one of these small other random projects. So I have a list of that as well. Another list that I recommend having, you can actually combine it with the personal tasks, but I have it separate and I call it self-care. And I think that it's separated because it's not really tasks, it's more kind of like a wish list, I would say. And I put here things that I think are like mini projects that I want to do in order for me to feel like I'm caring for myself. So it can be like making a big wardrobe haul to see how I want to improve my style, for example, and go shopping, or it can be things like signing up for a new kind of therapy or coaching or something like that. So these all go in the self-care list. So after you did all that, and this is why I mean that you not necessarily want to do all of this work in one sitting, and I actually recommend you finishing that and kind of sleeping on it for a few days. After a few days, going back to that list kind of help you see it in a different perspective, and what you're looking for right now is what comes out as the most important big picture tasks. So for me, after writing all that, going back to the 4 categories of work, play, love and relationships, and health. According to this Designing Your Life book, they recommend doing this little dashboard to kind of gauge what's your content level in each of these categories. So things this year might be more important for you to pay attention to your work than your love, or the other way around. If you feel fulfilled in your love life, you might not need to have a big goal in this category this year, and so on. So you want to focus on your least big categories for this yearly goals. So once you have that and you have all of your projects kind of written down here, you can come into 1 to 2 big goals for the year list, making sure to focus on what you feel less fulfilled in. Okay, so for me, I have 2025 goals. My work, my health are the 2 main goals, but I also want to put here one of the goals that it's not really love and social, it's more play/social. So I'm going to put that here. And the reason I don't have love here for 2025 goals is that it's just not a priority for me this year. But definitely if you have a big priority for a relationship, put it here as well. And then I go each of these and fill out my 1 or 2 big goals of the year. So for my health goals, I want to get into training routine to get stronger. Now, usually I would suggest writing something that's more gaugeable, like what is getting stronger. And for me, this is really simple. I want to have 3 cardio sessions per week plus 2 strength a week. So this is my goal. If I can commit to that and get to that, I think that's great. And then maybe next year I'm going to work on more metrics of how strong I am, but just having that habit. So this is one of my health goals. And then my next health goal is, since I'm the BRCA1 career, I have to decide now that I'm turning 39 this year if I want to remove my ovaries this year or next year, or postpone it and get all just my tubes removed. And this whole thing is like a huge thing that's weighing on me, and this year I want to decide what's my game plan for that. Okay, so then my play/social goal would be to get into the routine, host one dinner party a month. This is something that you can measure. I mean, have I hosted a dinner party a month? And this is great if I'm gonna be able to get into this habit of hosting a dinner party a month. I think I would really benefit, like for my fun and my social life is gonna really upgrade. So I really love cooking. I kind of abandoned this part of my life, and I want to have this one thing that connects me back to this passion. So this way it's kind of like my passion, my play, my fun, and also connects me with other people and upgrade my social life. So this is a big goal for me to achieve. And then my work goal, I have two. One is to have my Hello New Me business project run smoothly, and I have to decide what it means to me running smoothly, but just to have a routine of creating, right? And start making money off of it. And I'm writing what my goals for the year, like financial goals, and you can write like what's your expected financial gains from this project. My next big project is to see if my pilot project is worth the effort. So that's it. I have my goals for 2025, and these are just 5 goals, but if I do all of that, it will be pretty amazing. And now this was the first part. I ended up with lists of all of my different life projects and what I have to get done. I have my 2024 goals that I achieved, and then my new goals that I want to achieve. And then the next part of this brainstorming and planning session of the year would be how to execute these into quarterly, a monthly, a weekly, and a daily plan. We're gonna get to that in the next video. Make sure you comment below how you plan out your own year, and if you have a different way of coming up with your yearly goals, I would love to hear about that. And make sure you follow for more.